fam, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Tina and I make videos on lifestyle, home, and DIY projects every single week. I hope you guys are doing well today, and I cannot believe that we are into October already, which means that spooky season is upon us. So in today's video, we're going to DIY some Halloween decor, and I'm also going to do some styling around the house with you guys. I always really love Halloween time because you can get so creative, and I used to go to the thrift store and just make my own costumes all the time, but now I don't really go to Halloween parties, and I'm definitely way too old to trick or treat. So instead, I'm putting all my creative energy in the decor. So I have 3 fun projects to share with you guys today, and if you're looking for more DIY decor ideas, I do have a bunch of other videos from last year, so I'll be sure to link that down below. And before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's jump into the first project. Hello from VoiceOver Tina. I'm very excited for this first project, and we're using some jars from Dollar Tree. These are in their glassware section, and I'm using 2 different ones to show you 2 different ways to create these jars. I also got these little plastic skulls from Dollar Tree. This is in their Halloween decor section, and I thought this would look so cool as a little handle for our lids, so I'm using some E6000 and I'm gluing that right to the center. Then with some masking tape, I'm going to tape it down to hold it in place while it dries overnight. And while we wait for that, I'm taking the Fluted glass jar and we're going to tint the glass to make it look like amber glass. And all you need is some food coloring and Mod Podge. I poured the Mod Podge into a little cup, and ideally you should use a glossy finish Mod Podge, but I only had the matte one on hand, so that's what I'm using. With the food coloring, I'm making an orange color with the red and yellow because amber glass has a warm tint to it, so I really wanted the reds and oranges to come through. And then I added in my brown food coloring, and I also continued to add in more and more red just to make sure that the color was going to be right. And to be honest, with this type of project, you can't really tell because the Mod Podge is going to tint it lighter, so you really won't know until after the next step, but I just continued to add this red food coloring in. You guys will notice that I'm using a gel one, but that's just because I couldn't find a regular old liquid kind, but this actually ended up working really fine for this project. So now that this looks like chocolate fondue, it is time to coat our glass jar. So I'm pouring it straight into the jar, and then I'm just tilting it and moving it around to evenly coat the inside of the jar. And as you do this, you might notice some air bubbles forming in there, but once we flip it upside down to dry, those should pop. But if you notice any larger ones, just make sure that you pop them yourself before we bake it. I'm letting this sit for about an hour, and I placed it upside down on top of some popsicle sticks just so that all of the glue can drip out. After waiting an hour, the Mod Podge really evened out, and now it's time to bake. I'm going to pop that into the oven at about 225 degrees Fahrenheit for 45 minutes. Okay, this just cooled down and it looks amazing. I'm actually so surprised by how much this looks like amber glass. I was really afraid that since I used the matte Mod Podge, this wouldn't look right, but clearly it looks amazing. I'm sure you guys are going to wonder what the inside feels like, and it is super, super smooth. Like, this feels really good, and I'm very impressed with this technique. Okay, so back to the lids. We are ready for some spray paint. So I'm using a flat black spray paint on the whole lid, and this is gonna take me 2 coats. And for the larger lid, I wanted this jar to be more modern looking just because of its overall shape, so I'm going to leave it black. But for the smaller one, we're going to bring out some of those details. So with some gold paint and a paper towel, I'm just going to dip that right in, and then I'm rubbing that onto the skull as well as the lid, and this is going to give it such a cool effect. So you'll see that all the raised parts are going to have that beautiful gold paint onto it, and I think this makes it look antique and just so perfect for Halloween. Now it's time to put it all together and fill up these jars with whatever you'd like. How good did both of these jars come out? So whether you're looking for a modern minimal look or a mystical rustic look, these just look so amazing. You could also DIY labels for these to look like a spell ingredient jar or a potion jar, and I think that would be such a fun idea, but let me know which one you guys would choose to decorate with in the comments below. This next project is a really fun piece, and I'm using this arched wood plaque, and the first thing I'm doing is just painting it black. This wood is actually used to make tombstones for Halloween, but this art shape is so on trend and versatile, so I thought it'd be fun to create something else with it. After that dried, I took some chalk and I'm going to rub that right onto the surface, and this is going to create a really cool texture and give our background some dimension. It makes the piece look more aged, but it also reminds me of outer space, which is super perfect for this solar inspired piece. For the design, I'm using pencil to sketch it all out, and I'm largely basing this whole drawing off of this psychic decor piece that I saw at Michael's. I took a picture of it in the store and I used that as a reference, and I will link the actual product down below, but I just thought this was such a cool design and I knew it would be perfect for this project. So I'm taking bits and pieces of the Michael's design and I'm going to make it my own. So we have the sun in the middle here, and then I'm going to make some lunar phases around it with these little circles. And for the edge, I'm doing a small border with some beautiful filigree details on the top, bottom, and corner pieces. Now to bring this to life, I'm using liquid gold leaf paint, and you can also use regular metallic paint or even white paint for this, and I think that would look really awesome as well. And I'm just filling the whole entire sun shape in with the paint, and then with a fine tip brush, I'm going to outline the moon phases and then fill them in each phase. I wasn't really worried about making this look super perfect, so I'm not using a template for any of this, and I really just like the hand-drawn look, and I think it goes really well with this design. If you can't already tell, we're doing a bit of a black and gold theme for this video, and I think that is such a classic color combo for Halloween, so that's what I'm sticking to this year. But with each one of these projects, you can totally customize it to whatever colors and styles that will fit your theme. I would love to know what your theme is this year, so feel free to leave a comment below. I know not everyone is a big fan of Halloween, but for me, it just brings out so much creativity, and it just reminds me of being a kid and just having fun playing dress up and of course getting tons of candy. I'm not sure what Halloween really looks like this year with the current state of the world, but even thinking about handing candy out at our own home just made me so excited to be able to decorate it. So make sure that you guys stay tuned for the end of the video because we're going to do some decorating inside the house. Alright, so after the gold dried down, I'm using the same black paint, and then we're just going to add in some of the details. So here I'm painting in the face on the sun, and from the original inspo piece, there's a lot of rough lines, so that's what I'm kind of trying to emulate here. For each one of the rays, we're also going to add in some more lines, and this is going to give it so much more interest. The last step I'm going to do now is just to fill up the empty space with some little gold stars. Feel free to add as many or as little as you'd like, and once that's done, our piece is ready to be displayed. Okay, you guys, I'm a bit obsessed with how this piece turned out. I think it is so perfect to hang up on a wall or to lean on a bookshelf, and if it fits within your decor style, you can totally hang it up year round. I hope you guys enjoyed painting this piece with me and found some inspo from this project. For this last project, we're creating a crescent wreath, and I got this really sparkly one from Michaels, and everything was 40% off, so that was super awesome because these wreaths can get pretty expensive. And I'm first marking off where we should make our cuts with some tape. Then I'm using some twine that matches the color of the branches, and I'm basically just going to tie it all around the whole thing up to where the tape is. And this is gonna help just keep the branches together while we cut it. So I'm still unpacking things around the house, and I couldn't find my regular wire cutters, so I had to use these giant ones. And with these, we're just gonna cut through all the branches, and I'm going little by little, and I'm trying to create a tapered look just so that it resembles the crescent shape. And after working with this wreath, I totally understand why it was $25 originally. This wreath is really sturdy, and for the larger branches, I could not cut it through with the wire cutters, so I actually had to take out my trusty Dollar Tree hacksaw, and I cut through those thicker pieces. This was probably the most difficult part of this project, and it ended up being quite the arm workout. Last year I also created a crescent wreath, but that one was much smaller and super easy to work with. So if you guys want to make a smaller, more inexpensive version, make sure to check your local Dollar Tree for supplies as well. So now it should look a little something like this, and if you want more of that tapered look, you can go ahead and take some more twine and just tie those ends up super tightly. This is the perfect base for our wreath, and you can go ahead and add in whatever fun picks and florals that you would like. For this one, I'm going with all black accents, and I thought this would just add in a lot of contrast, and it's also probably the only time I will use black florals, so I thought that I would have fun with it. This was also the first time I've ever seen black bunny tail, and this was just too cute not to pick up. So now I have my layout down, and with this type of wreath, you can actually just weave them in between the branches and those will stay. But if you want it to be more secure, you can add some hot glue to keep everything in place, and that's what I'm going to do next. I really love asymmetrical wreaths, so you'll see that the top half of florals is a little bit longer than the bottom, but on both sides I am including the same types of florals just to tie everything in together. And towards the center, I'll have some larger florals as well as a spider as the focal point. And I actually made this wreath as part of a challenge with my friends over on Instagram, so if you're looking for more wreath inspiration, please check everyone's out. I'll have it all linked down below. To add a little bit more sparkle, I glued on these gold star sequins around the branches, and I thought this just tied really nicely with the moon theme. To hang our wreath, I'm just gonna place it on a little command hook, and this is gonna look so good on a wall or a front door. This wreath is minimal, but still magical with all the black details and added sparkle, and this crescent shape really puts a twist on your classic wreath, and I absolutely love it. Okay, so I thought it'd be really fun to decorate the mantle with you guys. I definitely have plans to make over the fireplace, but for now I think it's the perfect spot to display our DIY decor. So we're gonna do a fun little setup on here, and the first thing I have is actually this giant mirror. Let me go get it. Oh gosh, so heavy. Okay, it's heavy. Oh, okay. Oh. I got this mirror from the flea market with my mom, and we actually went the weekend when we were first looking at houses. So I knew if I bought it, I would have a place to put it. This mirror was actually $30, but my mom haggled it down to $20, and I feel like she's just the master barter. Like, I definitely can't barter as well as she can. So I really love going to markets with her, and she does all of that. But I thought this would be perfect just to put over the fireplace, and then maybe put some spider webs on it, and that could look really cool. So I'm gonna start with this piece, and we're gonna build around it. Okay, so I did secure it, and I put little spider webs on it, and now I'm gonna take some of the decor pieces and just start styling. I have some DIY decor as well as some store-bought, and I actually got this one from Dollar Tree, and I thought it would be perfect with the spell book that I made last year. If you missed the tutorial on this from last year, I will link it down below, and let's get to styling. best of my house feels right now, even though I still don't have any furniture pieces. Decorating it definitely makes it feel a lot more homey, and I love all the projects from today's video. Let me know which one was your favorite in the comments below. And I would also love to hear, what is your Halloween decor style this year? There's so many different themes that you can choose from. If you guys are inspired by any of the projects from today's video, make sure that you post it on Instagram and share with me. And also follow along because I post on there every single day. I will obviously share some of your Halloween recreations from last year and even this year, because a lot of you guys have discovered my videos from last year and already recreated projects for this year. I really love seeing all of your projects, so thank you for continuing to tag me in them. And that is it for me today. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Stay inspired, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!